Three judges sat Monday afternoon at the Court of Appeal and handed down their decisions in that application filed by private citizen Eslyn David through her attorney Mayor Robertson. Eslyn David wanted the court to find that the chief elections officer must first determine only credible votes to calculate the election results of March 2, 2020. Justice RISHI PERSAUD had been first to hand down his ruling. In a brief ruling, he struck out the matter, saying that the appeal court does not have jurisdiction over the matter.
In closing, it should be noted that I deliberately refrained from dealing with, in any particular detail, those core and peripheral issues which have arisen here that may be the subject matter for consideration by an elections court. This is, of course, in an effort to avoid what may amount to pronouncements or opinions prejudicial to the elections court's consideration of those issues properly before it. In the circumstances and for the brief reasons given, I find that this notice of motion is wholly misconceived and is accordingly struck out for want of jurisdiction.
Justice Reynolds, in a very lengthy ruling, said that the appeal court has jurisdiction to hear the matter and that the Guyana Elections Commission has a responsibility to determine the final credible count based on quantitative and qualitative assessments of the observation report, in keeping with provisions of the original order and in the final paragraph of the amended order.
I have found and ruled accordingly that this issue therefore falls squarely within the jurisdiction of Article 177(4) of the Constitution. Accordingly, I find that GECOM does have a responsibility to determine the final credible count of the results. It would be reasonable to presume that that final credible count would require both a quantitative and qualitative assessment of reports and the summary of observations submitted to the Commission in compliance with Order 60 of 2020.
Justice Gregory Barnes' ruling was similar to that of Justice Reynolds, that the court has jurisdiction and that more votes cast is interpreted to mean more valid votes.
So it is important to make that point, that the court simply has the jurisdiction under 177(4), that interpretation jurisdiction, which relates back to Article 177(2)(b), to read the words as meaning valid votes cast, if more valid votes are cast. So in effect, my order is similar, is the same as the order of Mr. Justice Reynolds.
The Chief Elections Officer had indicated in his initial report that votes not affected by anomalies and/or irregularities and voter impersonation amount to 185,302 votes. If the CEO's report is accepted, now that the Court of Appeal has ruled that more votes cast means more valid votes, and if Mr. Lowenfield's figures are accepted by the 7-member commission, it would mean that the PPP would get 56,627 votes, and the Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change will get 125,010, and the remainder going to several small parties. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.